Hey everybody, it's Christine Parma of ChristineParma.com, and welcome back to another free live stream training dedicated to helping you create a business and a life that you love. Because that's really the name of the game, isn't it? To have more joy and freedom in your life while you're getting to fully express your gifts in the world. So I'm here to support you in that. And you can find me at ChristineParma.com for those of you who don't know me, or here on my Facebook page. There's a like button up there above me somewhere. You can click like so you get notified of when I'm doing these awesome live streams. And taking a suggestion from one of my viewers, Jax, thanks so much, I am establishing a regular broadcast schedule as much as humanly possible as being a mom too. It will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday nights for you guys in the U.S. and Thursday nights for the also 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So watch for me. I'll be doing the Monday broadcast here on my business page because they'll be more business oriented, and Facebook says I have to do it that way. And the more ignite and inspire and motivation and some of the deeper conversations that are more personal, I will be doing over on my Facebook profile page at Christine Parma Empower. So I've posted it for you guys. I'm sure you guys can find the link below. And I want to dive in to today's training, which will be short because I have something else I have to do. I have a tendency to share a lot, but today is time limited, truly. So it is about how to connect deeply with your audience. And I want to share one strategy on how to do this that's really up on my radar, and it's one that I'm practicing right now. You guys ready for it? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to hear it. The strategy is sharing your stories, sharing your vulnerabilities, just being kind of raw and authentic you. Now, that's probably like a, hey, this is no new news to me, Christine, sort of moment you might be having. But at the same time, I have to ask you, are you doing it? Are you doing it right now? Are you sharing your vulnerable side and sharing more of your personal side, or stories that really would connect with your audience at a very human level and an emotional level even? I can tell you, I wasn't doing that. And when I really started looking at how my business had what it had grown into, and I looked at it and I didn't really like it all that much. I mean, certain aspects of it. Some things had kind of gotten out of whack, gotten out of balance and out of alignment with my values. And so I decided and resolved to share more of myself, more of my personal side, and it seems to be resonating with people. I mean, you know, there's lots of people who talk about storytelling as a way to connect, and it's frankly because humans crave connection, and that's why social media is really big, and we love to learn through story. So thank you for the like. If you are not yet sharing that side of you, I'm going to refresh my page real quick so I can see, make sure I'm seeing the comments as they come in. Hey Jack, so good to see you here. I had compartmentalized my business into, this is my business and this is my personal life and my family life. And I started to look at, well, why wasn't I really integrating the two? And I think for me, it felt a little bit threatening to share more of my personal side, right? Because then you're opening yourself up to other people critiquing you or criticizing you, or, hey, you know what, loving you. Thanks, Jax, for being here. But you know what? When you're coming from a place of service and of wanting to be of service to the world, which I know if you're watching this broadcast, that's probably your primary driver, then you don't know what you may share, that's something you may share in your personal story or share from your heart, might not, make all of the difference in the world to somebody. Just something you say, that it will affect somebody so deeply and so profoundly that it really changes the course of their life. And it's totally possible for that to happen. I know of many personal instances where like when I was working for T. Harv Eker, that people would come up and share things about that, share things that his message, had changed their lives. His message changed my life. Your message will change people's lives. And sometimes it's the more raw, authentic messages that really connect with people, and maybe people you weren't able to connect with otherwise. So I do want to throw a caveat in here, or an example about what kind of stories you should be sharing. So this isn't I'm not telling you to go out and start complaining about all of your woes in the world and how hard life is for you, and do that kind of story sharing, because I don't think it serves probably your audience, and it also won't attract the kind of people that you probably want to attract as your clients, just from a business standpoint. So for example, let's say you're a Facebook ads manager, or a Facebook expert, and you're putting a program out there that you're going to teach people how to make kick-ass Facebook ads, and they're going to rock with Facebook ads and make $1 bazillion in their business. If you're doing, going through your launch of your program and you're feeling insecure and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I really am an expert, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, and having all these fears, you probably don't want to share those stories, at least at the time that you're doing the launch, because you will compromise your position, your authority positioning as a Facebook ads expert. Jack says, keeping it real and sharing real life stories is what people want. Yes. And you've got to use discretion, in my opinion, Jax, because in my example, if you're in the middle of this launch and you're a Facebook ads manager and you share, hey, you know what, I feel like a total fraud. I don't really think I'm a Facebook ads expert after all, but please keep signing up for my program. It's probably not going to work. But then you also would have to go back and question, well, if you're having these feelings of being, like fraud syndrome or whatever it's called, and that you're not really an expert, is it true that you are an expert and you're just having some insecurities around putting yourself out there in a big way, and so you're having to work through some fears, which could be a very useful story at some point to share, how you put yourself out there even though you were uncomfortable, and and made it work? Or is it that you're kind of fronting, right? You're kind of pretending to be something that you're not, and I think that's an easy thing to fall into. And I could even see and kind of feel myself getting pulled in that direction last year, because there's so much pressure to, when you're an entrepreneur, to make it, right? To make it big, to make the big money. And then you look at the experts out there who are making the big money, Marie Forleo's and, the Tony Robbins and all these other names, Brendan Burchard. And it's easy to start comparing yourself to them and think, oh, well, they did it, I should be doing that too, and doing it in their way, and I should be further along, and it just snowballs into a big bunch of ugly, right? So that's not where you want to go with it. But identifying, some stories that your audience might resonate with. A personal example of mine is I just wrote a blog post about the unexpectedly high costs of being an overachiever. And it really, I drew on a story, part of my story, of being in 8th grade math class. And I was in honors programs, and I was in 8th grade math class, and I was so stressed out because I felt so stupid and so embarrassed that I was not getting these math concepts like click, like so fast. Like I normally was, a very good learner, and I felt like all my other peers were getting it, and I felt so stressed out I would cry in class, cry quietly. And I was so stressed in 8th grade. You think about this, how ridiculous this is. In 8th grade, I was so stressed I got an ulcer, a stomach ulcer. And I look back on that and I'm like, what? What was that about? Why was I pressuring myself so much to be a top performer, to be the A? I always had to get an A. If I didn't get an A, my God, the world was ending, right? And I knew a lot of people like that, especially going into high school. And I look at that and I'm like, what is that about? What is this, pressure we put on ourselves to achieve and to prove ourselves about? And when I really started thinking about it, I think it goes back to self-esteem, to not feeling worthwhile as just yourself. And you feel like you have to prove yourself. For me, I was having to prove myself, prove my worth through getting A's all the time. Because if I got an A, or A plus, and my graduating GPA at high school was 104 because of all the extra credit stuff I did. And it still was not as high as other people, right? There's other overachievers even more. But what is that about? It's like I had to, if I didn't get an A, then I wasn't a good person. And somehow I had failed at being a valuable human being in my mind, kind of screwed up mind here. So I wrote a blog post around that because I think it's, even carrying into, adulthood, that pressure and entrepreneurship, that pressure to move and go and hit the milestones. And, in 6 months, you should be, making $1 bazillion and on everybody's stage and be in Forbes magazine. I think there's kind of this unrealistic level of expectation around that. So I wanted to share that story in hopes that it would help some people. And I have heard from some people, and they said, you know what, thank you so much for sharing that. And that makes me feel really great. If it helps, what I share helps even one person, that it's totally worthwhile to me. So that is my business tip for today, is to be, maybe you can kind of sum it up as being a little less businessy in some regards. To be more of yourself, share more of your personal side that will connect with your audience and maybe fill even a need that they have that isn't technically what you do as your entrepreneurial expertise. So my challenge is to you to start coming up with a list of stories. Start off with coming up with one story. What's one story that you could share with your audience that you think, you know what, this addresses a challenge they have, or talks about, connects with them at a level of a problem they're having, or a dream they have, or a motivation or a desire. What's one story that you could share? So come up with that story and then share it. However you want to share it. It can be on live stream, it could be blogging, however you want to share it. My challenge is to you that you start sharing it. And then once you're out there sharing your message, because in a way that really is, it's a form of marketing, then make sure you're doing the other, I guess, technically business marketing and promotion activities that you need to be doing to get your story out there and to get your message out there in a bigger way. And if you want a checklist of what those marketing, promotion, and business activities are that can help you grow your business really quickly, you can, there's a banner above me right now that's for the six-figure business checklist. That is a simple checklist that tells you, hey, this is where you need to be focusing your time. Which marketing activities will actually make a big difference in your bottom line, because the more successful you are, the more people you can help, and the better off the world will be. That's how I feel about it. So download it. It's a free resource for you if you resonate with that. Please like my page here so you get notified of additional free trainings and resources I put up there. And then join me on my regularly scheduled broadcasts. Thanks, Jax, for being here and for making that suggestion. And I look forward to answering any questions you have. If you're catching me on the replay, post your comments and your questions below, and I will get back to you, and I'll also put some links there for you guys. So I wish you an amazing life and have an amazing day working on your business today, if that's what you're doing. And I will see you guys next time. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.